Good morning and welcome back to DR Sports Transfers. Another roundup for you of what's going on in the transfer market with just a week to go. It's getting tense. It's getting to squeaky bum time in terms of the transfer window market, and we've still got some massive names to leave and join big clubs. Remember, before we get into it, you can become a member now on DR Sports. We've been talking about it all week. It's great. A lot of you guys that send in chats, if you become a member, your chat gets highlighted. You can use custom emojis. There's actually a Don Robbie one himself, and we've seen a lot of members be using them and having fun. And you get exclusive access to early content as well. So it's a great place to be, especially with so much great content coming up on DR Sports soon. Make sure you are doing the right thing and joining the channel. And of course, like the video, comment with your thoughts on these transfer stories, and subscribe to DR Sports if you haven't already. I mean, if you're watching this, you should be, if I'm honest with you. Let's talk about Chelsea. I don't really want to talk about the game last night. Apologies for being late as well. We had awful Wi-Fi issues. I promise it wasn't to do with me being upset from last night. It was genuinely Wi-Fi issues, I swear. But DR Sports put me on smash saying, apologies on being late. AGT still sad from yesterday, which of course is true. Maybe we'll have 1 or 2 minutes right at the end, but let's talk about transfers first of all. 2 massive deals still yet to happen, but look like they will happen for sure now. The first one, as you can see in the title, Aubameyang, looking ever likely that he will end up at Stamford Bridge. They're now in advanced talks to firm up that deal to get the paperwork signed for the 33-year-old. It's going to be around the 15 to the 25 million mark, I guess, with add-ons. But Chelsea fans, I mean, at the start of the window, there definitely weren't any pushes to get Aubameyang through the door. But as the season has progressed and you've sold Werner, sold Lukaku, you have needed to bring a striker in. But Chelsea fans, let me know if you still think that Aubameyang is the right man to come in. I was with a Chelsea fan at the weekend and he said he'd take him. He said he'd also take Ronaldo on loan for a year. But it looks like this one is going to be a permanent deal. I mean, if you're Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, you know, you literally joined Barcelona in January, smashed a few goals in, and then all this drama that's going on behind the scenes at Barcelona has come to the front, and now it looks like he's being forced out the door. I mean, if you asked him deep down, is this a move he wants? I would assume that he would have wanted to have stayed at Barcelona, but due to the financial situation that they're in, he is going to go to Chelsea. Now, how will he fit in at Chelsea? And I guess it's, you know, at a time when they're really in need of goals and strikers. A lot of their goals come from either defenders or a midfielder, wing backs. So, you know, in terms of how he's going to fit in, he's obviously going to play in the central number 9 role up top. But after what we saw at Leeds, Chelsea bottling it, losing 3-0 away at Leeds, they desperately need a striker. So there aren't that many names out there, if I'm honest, but I do think they need a proven Premier League striker. There's no time to settle in here for Pierre-Emerick. There's no grace period. He was literally in London only, 7 months ago. So there's no time for him to settle in. He's got to hit the ground and start scoring goals straight away. Barcelona fans, do you want to see him leave? Chelsea fans, do you want to see him join? Let me know in the comments. A massive one, this one, if it goes through. And also an interesting topic to talk about. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to shirt numbers. If you look at Pierre's shirt number kind of record, it's been 14 at Arsenal. That is taken at Chelsea by Trevor Chalobah, who we will mention later on because Inter Milan are trying to sign him on loan. And he also took the number 17 as well at Borussia Dortmund. But that number is taken by Raheem Sterling. He was just moved from number 25 to 17 at Barcelona, so maybe he could take the 25 shirt. But Chelsea fans, let me know. Sal in the comments says we create low-quality chances. Hossam saying he'll probably wear 25 at Chelsea. An AFC comp showing a bit of bitterness there towards Auba by saying he's pathetic. That's another good question, actually. Arsenal fans, how do you feel about this move? Is it something that you would feel bitter about if he scored at the Emirates? I mean, he was your star man, your captain for 3.5, 4 years. So it must be hard to see him join another rival, which isn't the first time this has happened for Arsenal. A lot of their star players have left to go on to um, more success. If you look at Ashley Cole, Sanya, Gail Clichy all went to Man City, obviously. There's been more Samir Nasri, etc., etc. But it looks like an ex-Arsenal legend is going to a rival in Chelsea. Transfers like this make me respect Ozil even more, says AFC Comps. Chelsea missed out on Jesus and Casemiro, says Sal. And get Sadio Mane from Bayern, says Smooth 1J. Chris Keisel says 25. Archie says Ilba is not clinical anymore. Do you think Arsenal fans should worry about this? You're neutral. There you go. I mean, that's the question I just asked. For the last 2 seasons, Auba had less goals than Pookie. I'm not too sure about that. Maybe it's true, but I doubt it. Reeks of desperation from Chelsea, says Dane. Y3 Trizzy, emotional one, says his whole legacy at Arsenal has now been ruined. If he goes, I'll never respect him. We did him go, says Rami. So as far as I'm concerned, he can go anywhere. Uber is to make way for Nkuku next season, says Scubs. And C says he's not an Arsenal legend at all. There you go. Sorry about that. Uber is an amazing player still, says Carmis. Cole, Fabregas, Giroud all achieved success when they moved to the bigger London club, says Hossam. And he is washed, says the coach master. So listen, a lot of differing opinions there. Aubameyang, clearly a great finisher at the age of 33 still. But now it's looking like he is going to join Chelsea and play up front for them. Radwanul says, Alex, since you're a Liverpool fan, do you think we should now worry about Chelsea? We should worry about everyone at the minute, to be honest. Liverpool just can't win a game for love nor money at the minute. Arsenal, Chelsea retirement home, says Scubs 1, 2, 3. Let's get into, to be honest, it's saying read out the members chat, but on my comments thing here, it doesn't show me who is a member or not. But it's great to see a lot of you joining in. This guy definitely is a member. Tendy Item, he says, and he's a big Newcastle fan, loves it. Do you know what, Tendy Item, show them the emojis you get for being a member, and then hopefully that allows more people to join as well once they see the cool emojis you've got. But he says, and I quote, Chelsea and Arsenal are practically best friends, exchanging their talents. Check. Willian and now Aubameyang. Don't forget Ashley Cole in that as well, too. Massive one when he left. Scott saying he's declined because of many things. He went away to Barca and banged in goals. Barca fans really want him to stay. There you go. There you can see the the Don Robbie emoji from Tendy Item. Big up to you, mate. Any news on Antony, says Jordan. Well, let's move on to Antony and we'll come back to Chelsea shortly. But on Manchester United, there is a new bid expected to go in the next 24 hours for Antony. Opinion on this if it gets done. What is your opinion on this, Ajax fans? I mean, known really as a selling club as things stand, Ajax, which was unfortunate considering how many players, incredible players, have come through the door and left, especially through the academy. But Manchester United last night, I mean, it pains me to say, but they're a lot better than Liverpool. And their wide players, who have often been much maligned, actually played well last night. You look at Sancho with the goal. Elanga hit the post, was taken off at half-time. And Rashford obviously scored as well. Do United actually need Antony? The mid-20s-year-old is looking like Manchester United are going to get him through the door. And it's a very late time in the transfer window to be getting deals like this done. But it's interesting to see if Antony actually makes this one across the line. He's told Ajax he wants to leave. The manager's questioned his commitment, saying, why would you want to leave a Champions League team to join a Europa League team, which is a fair enough point. But I think we all know why he's going there, and that is for the money. They're also apparently, now this is something I haven't heard before, but United have been linked with so many wingers this summer. Again, mentioned Carrasco on the show recently, Gakpo, etc. But apparently they're planning a bid for Alan Saint-Maximin, which I'm not too sure Newcastle fans will be happy about. But there you go. Apparently that's being prepared. And I guess this is a backup if they don't get Antony. Now, obviously, we all saw the protest last night before the game. Do you think at home that could give Manchester United the energy they need to kick on this season? Will that give them new energy after these protests last night? Obviously, Thousands of people outside Old Trafford protesting. Also, they were throwing a lot of objects at the decoy Liverpool bus that went in, which didn't actually have the players on, which was very clever from Liverpool. But that energy that they aroused last night through, obviously a massive win against Liverpool, can that kick them on to restart this season for them? Apparently, as well, we heard last week that every attempt to sign Frankie de Jong had been made for United. They had actually said that the deal had now expired. They were saying, right, that's it. We're not jumping on this deal anymore, purely because of the, sorry about that, it was a late night working. Purely because of the effort it's taken in the rejections of all of these bids that they've made for the 25-year-old Dutch midfielder. But apparently officials from United are set to travel to Barcelona in a last-ditch effort to sign de Jong. Now, Manchester United fans in the midfield totally outrun Liverpool in the midfield last night, to be honest. But is Frankie de Jong still an option for United to bring through the door? Let me know in the comments right now, United fans. Do let us know what you think now, after all these months of chasing, when he clearly doesn't want to go to the club. Do you think that they should still be flying out to Barcelona and making these last-ditch attempts to bring him to the club? Let me know in the comments. Skeptic says, yes, we need him, which again is, telling, considering how good they were last night. And if they add Antony to that as well, then it could be a different season as we expected from Manchester United. Leaving United, Eric Bailly. Oh, very sorry. Eric Bailly has agreed a deal to join Olympique Marseille. He's going back to France. Some player, Eric Bailly, I've really rated him since he's been at United. Obviously, can't get a game at the minute. They started last night with Varane and Martinez. Obviously, Harry Maguire, the skipper, on the bench last night. So United fans, let us know if you think Eric Bailly leaving makes a big difference to that back line. There's still Lindelof there and Harry Maguire. That's 4 centre-backs. And Phil Jones, let's not forget, is still there as well. Anarchy says, too many injuries with Bailly, but could have been a really good squad player. Mustafa says, Eric Bailly on loan to Marseille, Rolls Royce of a centre-back. Not sure about that. Clown Antony is coming for Ten Hag, bitter Scouser. Cheers, mate. I mean, I literally didn't say Antony was coming to Liverpool, but nice one. Apparently this is a loan with a mandatory buy clause if, now this is the key clause for Bailly and Olympique Marseille. If Marseille qualify for the Champions League, it's a mandatory buy clause, a very interesting clause that maybe we don't see anymore or we don't hear about too much because, again, these things are very much kept behind closed doors. If Marseille do qualify for that Champions League, even if Eric Bailly has an awful season personally, they're going to have to buy him because that's the clause in the contract. Liverpool last night could have done. I mean, I'm so tired of Liverpool shit. That's why I'm yawning so much, guys. I do apologise. But Liverpool do need to buy another player. That's without a question. We need another midfielder for sure. Another super chat here from Antony Gaming 67 who says, are Manchester City going to buy more players? You've seen them just recently last week bring in Sergi Gomez, the left back from Anderlecht, who looks like he's going to be a good player, if I'm honest, a left back that they have needed. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to buy any more players. The only thing that would make me think that is if Bernardo Silva leaves the club to either PSG or Barcelona. He's been linked with a lot. City fans will be gutted if that happens. But of course, with only a week left in the window, as time goes on, it's looking less and less likely that he leaves. Because what you have to remember with these big deals, it's all very well getting, if you're Barcelona, it's all very well getting Bernardo Silva through the door. But the impact and the effect that has on a team like City, they now have to scramble and get a replacement in a week. And when you're scrambling, when you're desperate, people can sense that, and then the price goes up. That's why Antony has been hiked up the price. That's why Gordon has been hiked up the price there from Everton to Chelsea. 45 million they were talking about. That's why someone like Wolves have been done really by Sheffield United after that massive signing. Wolves have sold Morgan Gibbs-White to Nottingham Forest for 44 million, pretty much because they knew that Forest had the money to splash, and they held there with their price. Apparently, David Ornstein has just tweeted, so we're going to get that up and talk about that as soon as possible once we can find out what that is. A couple more stories for you. Going back to Chelsea, it looks like they are still confident, even though I don't agree with this story. I don't think Everton are ever going to sell Antony Gordon to Chelsea. But Chelsea are confident. Chelsea are very confident they can still seal a deal for the 21-year-old Everton striker Antony Gordon this week, with talks still ongoing for the England under-21. Again, I don't see it happening. But there again, what am I to know? Because we have an exclusive now from David Ornstein at The Athletic. Antony Gordon has told Everton and Frank Lampard he wants to join Chelsea. The 21-year-old is keen to play Champions League and boost World Cup chances. Everton made aware that Chelsea were ready to pay 50 plus £10 million, but nothing is agreed. They still want to keep him and obviously need a replacement if he goes. Now, this is the fine line in football. You obviously want to keep your key players, your best players, your youngest prospects, the ones with the most sell-on asset value, the ones who contribute the most in terms of on the pitch and off the pitch. But as soon as that player wants to leave, you've got to get rid of him. Now, Everton, I was so confident that this was not going to happen in terms of Everton allowing Antony Gordon to leave. And I think he's definitely made some tricky decisions here at such a young age in terms of his legacy now with the Everton fans. We've seen Everton legends leave early and come back. You look at Wayne Rooney, was massively hated when obviously he left Everton to go to Manchester United and then came back at the end of his career. But now it looks like Antony Gordon has told Everton and Frank Lampard he wants to join Chelsea. Now, Frank Lampard would obviously be fairly sympathetic with that. He's obviously a Chelsea legend, Chelsea's all-time leading goal scorer. So, Antony Gordon, it looks like he's made the chat. But then again, this is not a done deal in the slightest. Everton still have to agree a fee and agree personal terms. But it looks like he's made the first step and he's told the club and the manager that he wants to leave. Can you believe that? A lot of people in the comments, like Jamie, saying, as a Chelsea fan, I don't want Gordon. He's way too expensive. Everton going to do a Leeds if they're not careful. Says Compost Smurf. Any news on Fofana to Chelsea? All we're hearing at the minute is they're still in talks with the Fofana intermediaries, but also working on outgoing. So that one could happen still. He obviously didn't play at the weekend. He refused to play, and he wasn't in the right state of mind, according to Brendan Rodgers. But it looks like he could be out the door. But then again, Leicester would need some time at least to replace him. Inter are also trying to sign Trevor Chalobah on loan. We mentioned him earlier as Chelsea's number 14. Looking like he might fly out to the Serie A to play for Inter Milan and maybe play against his former teammate in Ficaro Tomari. I believe that is his name. Ficaro Tomari. So it looks like he could go out there. Also, Serie A side Spezia have asked for Ethan Ampadu on loan. He was also on loan last year at Venezia. So it looks like he could be heading back out to the Serie A club. And Everton boss Frank Lampard is apparently considering a late move for Armando Broja. Of course, the Chelsea player who was on loan at Southampton last year. Now, if Aubameyang comes in the door, maybe there is space for Broja to leave. And Everton obviously need a replacement if that Antony Gordon goes to Chelsea. Now, is this something that could be combined? Could we see a swap deal? Could we see a cash plus swap for Gordon and Broja going the other way or going opposite ways? Do let us know in the comments if you think that is realistic or not, or if Everton are even going to allow him to leave. I don't think they will want to, of course, but if he's saying he wants to leave and apparently he's removed Everton from his bio, then it looks like he will leave. Tendy Item says, will members get an AGT yawning emoji sometime soon? Hopefully not. As I said, we were working very late last night after the game. And yeah, it's one of those mornings where I'm very tired. But listen, nothing is more important than the DR transfer show. So that's why I'm here giving you this news. Batshuayi, yes. Broja, no way, says Sal. Incoming yawn emoji, says DR Sports. Thank you very much. What a performance from Maguire last night, says Scrubs123. And Tendy Item, also who I mentioned earlier, is a member. He says it's Fikayo Tomori, which it is. Every time AGT yawns, that points being dropped by Liverpool this season. Cheers, mate. Very good. Any news on Neto to Arsenal? Not since yesterday. You're going to have to go onto AFTV and check out those guys' daily transfer update for updates on that. Nothing else from me, though, apart from what Matisse and I said yesterday. Everton cannot lose Gordon. They do not have enough quality up front. This is the biggest worry for Everton. If you get rid of Antony Gordon, who, let's admit, hasn't set the league on fire so far. He's played 51 games. He scored 6 goals in total. So it's hardly like he was your main goal scorer. But if Everton sell him, then they are relying even more on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's totally injury prone. Salomon Rondon hasn't scored for God knows how long. And obviously Richarlison has left the club too. So can you sell your best 2 players and still hope to stay up? If I'm honest, you look how close Everton were to going down last season with those players in the team. You take them out, it's a whole different ball game. I really do worry for Everton this season. Not as a Liverpool fan, but just for them. If they do sell Antony Gordon, I don't think that's going to go down well at all in the blue side of Merseyside. Could Everton get relegated? As I just mentioned there, if you take away those players, they're definitely going to be in trouble for sure. Maguire to Liverpool is being heavily rumoured this morning, says Young Sinatra. Very funny, mate. Emerson nearly done for West Ham. Yep, we spoke about that yesterday. £15 million agreed to go from Chelsea to West Ham. And Simon says, AGT, do you blame Klopp at all for last night? No, I blame the players because they just weren't up to it. But what I can say is I didn't totally 100% agree with Klopp's team selection last night. But I can't blame him for losing because he wasn't on the pitch. But again, I wouldn't have played Milner and Henderson. Just my thoughts. It's the league-winning Liverpool side starting to expire. It looks like it. Looks like we could be in the race for a top 4 this season. Muraz says Arsenal might be waiting for transfer deadline day. Again, we still have heard the same things from Mikel Arteta. He wants to bring 1 or 2 names in more at the Emirates, and he's got a week to do so. Let's not forget, guys, the transfer window officially closes at 11 p.m. on Thursday, the 1st of September. 11 p.m. So we've just got 9 days to go. So if there is a deal to be made, teams better start making it sooner rather than later. Right, a little roundup of what we've spoken about today in the transfers. Obviously, Aubameyang looking like he's going to join Chelsea. Antony looking like he is going to make that move to Manchester United. Chalobah looking like he might go to Inter Milan. We've seen Manchester United still linked with Alan Saint-Maximin after those horrendous rumours linking Harry Maguire to Chelsea. Could that just be another wishy-washy kind of rumour? Who knows? And of course, other news including, let's just get it up here, Everton, obviously. Antony Gordon looking like he's going to go to Everton. He's told Frank Lampard that he wants to move, and it could see Broja going the other way. And Frankie de Jong, United are going to give it one more chance. They're going to fly to Barcelona and see if they can get something across the line. Eric Bailly is also joining Marseille. Now, Liverpool aren't going to buy anyone. I'll put it right out there. Liverpool are not going to buy anyone. We need a midfielder in the door ASAP. And Hossam says, are you worried about Liverpool's average squad age? Most of them are reaching 30. Yeah, I am. It's not nice to admit that, but I am. Liverpool out of the title race. Thiago's still a month out. They'll lose too much points in the opening stage of the season. There you go. And the last one today, Tendi Items says the difference between Leeds selling Rafinha and Calvin and Everton selling Rich and Gordon is that Leeds have brought in players early. Everton business really picked up speed when the season started. There you go. Right, guys, there is your transfer update for another day on DR Sports. Don't forget, if you want to become a member, the link is in the top of the chat. It's the pinned comment right now in the chat. So make sure you check it out and see if you can do that. Obviously, check the bill payer's permission first. But there you go. Liverpool are not going to buy anyone. It seems like United are still in the race to buy a few more players, and it looks like we don't really need them after last night with Liverpool being so poor. But again, we'll be back. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe to DR Sports if you haven't already. This was another DR Sports transfer. See you tomorrow.